After spending less than 2 years on death row, Melissa and Porter was executed by lethal injection in Texas. She committed a crime so disturbing, so unforgivable, that the jury didn't hesitate, and neither did the state. But before we get to her final moments, we have to go back to the choice that sealed her fate. Due to the nature of this case, viewer discretion is advised. All descriptions are factual and handled with care. On October 12, 2003, Melissa left Austin General Hospital for the last time. But this wasn't the end of a normal shift. In her mind, there would be no tomorrow for her and for her children. She walked out carrying stolen hospital drugs, morphine, potassium chloride, and a bottle of amitriptyline. These weren't for treating patients. They were for something much darker. That night, inside her small apartment in Round Rock, Texas, Melissa tucked in her 2 children. Her son, Ethan, 6 years old, and her daughter, Ava, just 3. She kissed their foreheads, straightened their blankets, every gesture of a loving mother. But this wasn't bedtime. It was a countdown. Around 10 p.m., she gave them both large doses of amitriptyline, enough to knock them out. Then she stood over their beds, waiting for the pills to take hold. She went to Ethan first, filling a syringe with potassium chloride and injecting it directly into his vein. This is the same drug used in executions, but Melissa hadn't diluted it. His body reacted instantly. He woke up in agony, confused and screaming. His chest tightened, his nerves burning like fire. Melissa panicked. She tried calming him with morphine, but it didn't work. So she grabbed a pillow and pressed it down. Ethan kicked, clawed, and cried out, "Mom, no, Mama." But she didn't stop until he went still. When she turned to Ava, she couldn't bring herself to use a needle again. Instead, she smothered her. Ava was too young to understand and, still groggy from the pills, barely resisted. Within moments, she was gone. Melissa carried their bodies to her bed, laid them side by side, pulled the blanket up, and began writing 3 goodbye letters to her mother, her sister, and her ex-husband. In her letter to her mother, she explained she feared her kids, who had different fathers, would be separated after her death. She then swallowed 30 amitriptyline pills, injected herself with potassium chloride, and collapsed on the floor beside them. She intended to die there, but it wasn't the end. The next afternoon, her mother, Janet, worried after no response to calls, used a spare key to enter the apartment. What she found shattered her. Her grandchildren were gone, and Melissa lay unconscious but alive. Janet called 911. Paramedics rushed Melissa to St. David's Medical Center, where doctors pumped her stomach and stabilized her. She had survived, but the damage was irreversible. Detectives searched the apartment and found syringes, empty pill bottles, and the letters. They called the hospital immediately, instructing staff not to allow visitors. But Melissa's family hired a lawyer overnight, who warned police not to question her without him present. The police ignored it. The next morning, detectives read Melissa her rights and began recording. Within 8 minutes, she confessed, describing Ethan's pain, Ava's final moments, and her plan for them all to die together. Melissa was charged with 2 counts of capital murder. In court, she pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity, citing years of depression, childhood abuse, and the emotional toll of working as a nurse during mass casualty incidents in Texas. The prosecution argued otherwise, portrayed her as cold, selfish, and calculated. They claimed she viewed her children as burdens, often leaving them alone while she went out. The jury didn't take long to convict her, and Melissa herself requested the death penalty, saying, "I want to die. I want to be with my babies." She waived all appeals and was transferred to Mountain View Unit in Gatesville, Texas, to await execution. On March 14, 2005, Melissa walked to the death chamber at the Huntsville Unit. For her last meal, she requested fried chicken, mashed potatoes, green beans, chocolate pie, and sweet tea. Strapped to the gurney, she gave her final words. "No words can express how sorry I am. Now I can be with my babies, as I always intended. I love you, my babies." Melissa and Porter was pronounced dead at 9:27 p.m. She was just 29 years old. This story is a chilling reminder that untreated mental illness can destroy lives. But no matter the pain, taking innocent lives is never the answer. If you or someone you know is struggling, reach out. Sometimes a single act of compassion can prevent an irreversible tragedy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Unknown Truth TV for more real crime stories.